Okay, this is Prophet Robert, and I will be coming to you. And what we're going to do is get into a nice little Bible reading. And what our Bible reading is about. Hold a second. Ho. Okay. So what our Bible reading is about here is Deborah. Now we want to look at Deborah because Deborah is usually the first name that people are going to bring up, especially women, when they talk about a prophetess in Israel. And I'm going to tell you from my heart and my history what I have seen about this that's interesting. One way or the other. When it gets to the book of Judges chapter 4, and you read about Deborah, women, and I would even say some simplest men, they like to make it seem like Deborah was on the level of a male prophet because she was a prophetess. But the mere fact that she's called a prophetess let us know that she's not on the same level of a man. Now let's go to scriptures and let's prove that. Because the only person that can be a prophetess is a woman. Let's just deal with the obvious, okay? The only persons that can be a prophetess is a woman. So a woman is never going to be a prophet man. And you might think that, okay, I think you've been a little simple by breaking this down to such bite-sized morsels. However, when people talk about Deborah, that's how they talk about her. And it all comes down to this: men and women are equal. They never bring up equity, but they bring up equality. And some people interpret equality as equity. Okay, I understand that. That's just a lack of understanding. I get that. But, there's some things that need to be ironed out. So we're going to look at Judges chapter 4, and we're going to look at a number of other female prophetess in the Bible and see what capacity does a prophetess serve in. Okay. What capacity does a prophetess serve in? Hold on a second. So, without further ado, let me start off with 1 Corinthians chapter 11. Let's just start with that. Let's start with 1 Corinthians 11. Let's just deal with the straight up and down. Might go over to Genesis chapter 2, 18 and 24. We'll see. But let's go to 1 Corinthians chapter 11. And I think one of the reasons why there is this urge for some women to fight against the authority of a man or patriarchy that's of a divine order is because men are not being men, and they are not after the divine order or nature. And so this gives pause for women to feel, because the first thing a woman's going to say is, I feel. I feel. Invariably, that's the word that's going to come out their mouth. I feel. Forget about if it's in the Bible or not. That's insignificant. I feel is what the refrain that you're going to hear. And this is not a jab at women as much as it is a jab at men, because I think men have set the climate for this type of behavior. So sin begets sin. You see, sin begets sin. So the women now, they think that, okay, yeah, we're equal to men, we're superior to men, we're on par with men. And then they say stuff like, I feel. They back it up with I feel. That's the ruach for many women. I feel. That's their version of the ruach hakodesh, the Holy Ghost. You see. But what we want to do is get into some scriptures. I know you feel a certain way. I know that this topic is an irritant already. I get it. I can hear the murmurings already. Listen to this. It says, now look what this says. This don't say nothing about feeling right here, what I'm about to read. Be ye followers of me, even as I also am of Yahushua. That's what it says. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things and keep the ordinances as I have delivered them unto you. But I would have you know, now listen to what this says. I would have you to know that the head of every man is Yahushua. It don't say whether or not he's married or single or old or young. It don't say that. It don't say nothing about feelings. It just audaciously sets the rule. Okay? It says the head of every man is Yahushua. That's what it says. The head of every man. It don't say if he was married. It don't say if he was single. It don't say if he was divorced. It don't say if he was a widower. It says the head of every man. What part of every you don't understand? Now, the reason why people don't have a problem with that is because they don't have a problem with that. Actually, the reason why they don't have a problem with this, the only reason why most people don't have a problem with this, who clamor for all these unbiblical prerogatives that a woman should have, they think a woman or feel a woman should have, is because they know what's the next shoe to drop. But I would have you to know that the head of every man is Yahushua, and the head of the woman is the man. Now, the Bible don't say if she's married. It don't say if she's single. It don't say if she's divorced. It don't say if she's widowed. It don't say nothing like that. It says the head of every woman. Every woman. Now, this is where the problem is at. You not mine. You not mine. You not mine. No. Look, you saw what it said about the man. But this is where the difficulty come in. And I believe the difficulty comes here with the women because of the men. The lack of responsibility of the man. The lack of the role of the man. I'm trying my best to contain myself. Every man praying or prophesying. Now, listen to this now. Every man praying or prophesying having his head covered, dishonor his head. Some men, it says every man. That's what it says. It says every man that does that dishonoreth his head. Who is the head of man? Yahweh Shai. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered, it says every woman. Every woman. Now, I know you don't like this. I get it. But I'm just reading it just like I know your feelings. I get it. I get it. But look at this. But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonor her head. For that is even as if she were shaven. Now, the Bible don't say that her hair is her covering here. Because remember, the man has hair. It's not saying that every man should cut his hair off when he prays. It's saying that a man shouldn't cover his head. That's what it's saying. But when you get to the women, you know they got another rule. Oh, it's talking about your hair is your covering. Yeah. Your hair is your covering. Well, that means no man should pray that has hair on his head. No man. No man should be praying without hair on his head. So it says, but every woman that prayeth or prophesieth, a woman prophesying, with her head uncovered, dishonoreth her head. So a woman can prophesy. For this is as even all one as if she were shaven. If a man be not covered, it don't mean a man that has hair. It means a man who have his head covered with anything, whether he got hair or not. It says, for if the woman be not covered, let her also be shorn. But if it be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. That's what the Bible says. Now, I know, feelings. Feelings. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head. It don't mean that a man indeed ought not have hair on his head. This is really talking about a head covering. For as much as the image and glory of Yahuwah, but the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman. Listen to this, y'all. I know you don't like this part. The man is not of the woman. Woman, the original source for all women. The original. The original. For the woman is not of the, for the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. Now, I don't know what part. What was the woman created for the man for? To serve the man. To help the man. That's what she was created for. I know you don't like that. You don't even believe that that's of the Most High. Okay, you don't feel. But I just read the scripture again because somebody's melting right now. For the man is not of the woman. That's what the Bible says. I don't understand why you don't want to accept this for face value. But the woman of the man. She's of the nature of the man. How do we know that? Genesis chapter 2, verse 24. Let's look at that. She's of the man. She's a servant of the man, a helper of the man. She was originally created to help the man. It was not good that man should be alone. But you don't like that. You know why? Because you're a rebellious and wicked woman and man. You have wicked men and wicked women teaching contrary to the scriptures. But I'm going to read to you right here in Genesis chapter. I'll read to you in Genesis chapter 20. Genesis chapter 2, 20. Let's go start at 18. See, when you're in the nation of Israel, women just don't run around fancy foot free and single. You just know you don't have that. That's not our culture. Just running around free. Oh yeah, I'm not married. Oh, I'm a widow. You've been a widow for 15 years. Okay, well, where's your father? Oh yeah, I ain't got no man. No man. Even if you're a widow, it's got to be a man in your life. If the Bible going to say that it's not good for the male gender to be alone, why would he turn around after sin is entered into the world and say, well, it's good for a woman? All the single ladies, why would he turn around and start saying that? So let me see, Genesis chapter 2:18, I believe, is what I want. And Yahuwah said, it is not good that man should be alone. I will make him a helpmeet. Did he make the helpmeet so she could be alone? No. He said, I'm going to make him a helpmeet. So he didn't intend for either of them to be alone. It says, and out of the ground Yahuwah formed every, well, let's go down to verse 21. And Yahuwah caused a deep sleep to fall upon Adam, and he slept. And he took one of his ribs and closed up the flesh instead thereof. And the rib which Yahuwah had taken from man made he woman. Taken from man. And then guess what he does? He gives the end product of what he created from the rib, he gave it back to man. He presented it back to man. So the woman don't supposed to be alone. I don't care what happens. And let me get really into this. Let me get really into this. The woman is not supposed to be, the godly woman is never supposed to be without a godly man in her life. It's got to be her father, her uncle, her brother, her nephew, her son, somebody. She should be in some man's life helping him, even if she's a widow. Who you helping? I'll say it again because now I'm starting to fight now. Who are you helping? What godly man are you helping? But you can't help a godly man. You know why? Because you're attracted to thugs, hustlers, unconverted men. You always are surrounded or in the company of unconverted men who are not seeking the Most High. When the Most High made Eve for Adam, Eve was coupled to a man who was seeking the Most High. What's your excuse? What's your excuse? And if you got a man who's not spiritually strong, like the bay horses in Zechariah chapter 6, your husband should be trying to link up with a man of the Most High. I don't care where he's at, and learn from him. So your husband could learn how to guide you. See, people always want to talk about what the order was in Genesis, what the original order was in Genesis. But I never hear these women or simpish men, I never hear them say, you know what? A woman is supposed to always, I never hear them say this. A woman is supposed to always have a man seeking the Most High in her life. Never. And just because you are married to a carnal man, it don't excuse you. Oh boy, this is getting good. It don't excuse you for not having a spiritual man in your life. It don't excuse you. You are not excused. Because that's the original order in the Garden of Eden, but nobody wants to go there. Okay, I married a heathen out in the world, and yeah, so the head of me is a man. No. 1 Corinthians chapter 11, when it says the head of every woman is the man, it means the head of every woman, that in particular an Israelite. But a woman is supposed to have a man that's leading her to the Most High. So if you don't have that, guess what? You are out of order. If you're surrounded by an uncle, a brother, a nephew, a father, a grandfather, and they all wicked, none of them born again. Guess what? You're breaking that commandment. It says, and you call yourself a spiritual woman, and I don't know what to say about these super spiritual women who run all over the place and ain't got no man. They say their man is the Most High. That's not what the Bible says. It says the head of every woman is the man. It don't say Yahushua. It says the man. That's what Scripture said. I know some people is coming in my chat room, but for some reason, my chat room is I gotta fix my settings so I can see who's in the chat room, because I can't even see who's in the chat room. So I'm giving you some deeper information about the role of a woman. The role of a woman is to help the man. I don't care if you're single. I don't care if you're a widow. I don't care if you're a single mother. I don't care if you're a grandmother. I don't care if you're a virgin and never been married. I don't care if you're old or young. You're supposed to be helping a man. And if you're a young woman, you're supposed to be helping a man in your family, your brothers, your fathers, your uncles. And you're supposed to be helping the spiritual men in the family. You're really supposed to be seeking them out above all the other men in your family, Israelite or not. That's just the natural order of the universe. You're supposed to be helping. But nobody wants to talk about that. All these women and simpish men want to talk about, who throw around scriptures, all they want to talk about is Deborah. That's what they want to talk about. But I notice they want to go to the book of Judges chapter 4, but they don't want to go to Exodus chapter 12 where it talks about Miriam. Why is it that they don't invoke the name of Miriam first? You know why they don't? because Miriam had caught leprosy and she tried to fight against the head of her life, which was Moses. Yeah. The judge of Israel, the prophet of Israel. Nobody like, women don't like bringing up Miriam. Nah, no. Deborah, yeah, Deborah, she's a prophetess. No, nobody, people, they will skip all over to get to Deborah. Deborah was faithful. Deborah was faithful. She wasn't like most of these women are who represent Miriam. See, the reason why a lot of women don't want to invoke the name of Miriam, because, oh yeah, she was a prophetess. But guess what? She was rebellious as hell. Just like our women are today and our simpish men are today. They simps. But I'm trying to, oh boy, I don't want to mess my thing up. I don't want to mess up my thing here. But let's see. The wicked flee when no man pursue it, but the righteous are bold as lions. It's all right. That's all right, though. That's all right. So hold on a sec. I'm trying to get my chat open so I can see who's in the room. I can't even see who's in the room. I can't greet anybody, but I'm going to give everybody a generic greeting because I can't see you. I'm trying to get my studio open so I could enable the chat feature. Hopefully I can go straight to it and get that thing going so I can see you all. Internet is slow as molasses. Events. Oh, live chat. Okay, I got it now. I think I got it here. Of course. Let me see this. Let me click on this. Loyalty. Oh, this thing is slow. Okay, hold on a second. I'm trying to. Oh, okay. I see somebody in the room. Humble servant. How can you jab at men when most boys are being raised by single moms? You got a point there. You certainly got a point there. I'm trying to enable this thing, man. Let me see. Let's do time stamps. Hello, man. You, how you doing? It's nice to see you. Hey, it's nice to see you too, Clarence Ray. I really don't have my windows set up the way I need to, but Clarence Ray, is good to have you. Shabbat Shalom. And because this is distracting me a little bit, trying to set this up right now. Set up my chat room so I can see who's in the room. I can see you on another page. No page, I can't see you. So I'm trying to set that up right now. So just bear with me, please. Because I'm trying to get I don't know why this thing, I don't know how it got disabled. I'm thinking about that humble servant just put out to me. Let me see. Enable live chat. Okay, it's on. Okay, enable live chat. Okay, let me just press done. Now this should enable it, unless on the actual page. Boy, I hate this drawback here. Okay, how do you enable this thing? Chat is disabled for this live stream. Why? Let me see. Maybe it's on something. Okay, well, I don't know why it's disabled, because I'm looking everywhere else and it says that it's okay. But I'm just going to go back to the place where I know I can see the chat going on. Let me go back a little bit. But anyway, we're going to get into Judges chapter 4, because my issue with all this talk about Deborah, because people love go to Deborah, is that they trying to say that Deborah was they almost make it seem like Deborah was a soldier, you know. And I know that the Most High can use anybody he wants to use. I get that. But it seems like they're going overboard in describing who Deborah was. And so this is troubling to me. It's really trouble. It bothers me. Let me see here. Oh boy. Of course. All kind of mess is going to happen now that I'm trying to get back to the room. But I don't want to spend too much more time on this. There and a lot of times, let me see. Let me click on settings and see what happens. Okay, connection. Boy. Oh, this thing is getting more complicated and complicated. Okay, let me do this. Create a studio. But and I think all of these problems default to men not doing their job. And so now women are talking about their warriors. And the problem that I have, the biggest problem that I have with women talking about their warriors is that when you look at the battles in Israel, you don't see women fighting side by side with men. You just don't see that. And if there is an instance where it happened, it was certainly the exception. It wasn't the rule. It was the exception, not the rule. Either the men was too weak, or there were extenuating circumstances. But women didn't fight side by side with the man and the babies in her arm. They didn't do that. And so, and if you look at the story of Deborah, she wasn't, the Most High didn't even tell her to go to the battle. But because the men were acting like cowards, guess what? She said, okay, I'll go. And from that vantage point, yes, she was valiant. But I don't think she was fighting in the battle. You know, when we read about Moses, Moses had his arms held up. He had his arms held up. You know, they try to make this Deborah lady out into a Joan of Arc figure, action figure or something. You know, it's just, and one of the things that bothers me about it is, why do women want to get so close to the role of a man? That's confusing to me. If I was a woman I would not want to be anywhere near a battle where a whole bunch of men are killing each other. Call me a coward, call me whatever. I wouldn't. I'll be praying for the men, making bullets for the men, assembling weapons for the men as a woman with the women. But I wouldn't be out there with them fighting hand-to-hand combat with men. And I don't think women, I think the women that are like this, they really don't know what they're getting into. The horrors of war is devastating. It ain't no place for a woman, But Baraka, well, I'm not even reading this story yet, but I'm trying to get so I could just see the comments in the room. Let me see. Okay, maybe I'll be able to see it here. Am I live or what? I mean, what's going on here? Yeah, I'm live. I'm live, but man, I cannot see anything. I wish I could see what anybody was texting in the room. But anyway, we're going to get right into the study because this is taking way too long. Let's go to Judges chapter, and let's read about Deborah. And by the way, Deborah was a prophetess, okay? Deborah was a prophetess. And I noticed that a lot of people who try to give themselves the name Deborah or Deborah, they'll turn around and say, oh yeah, we don't need no prophets. But on the sly, they're a prophet. And I don't have no problem with that. I know that there are female prophets. I have no problem with that. But why you got to be slick about it? Look at this. Judges chapter 4. And the children of Israel again did evil in the sight of Yahuwah. Now listen what's going on in this history. Evil in the sight of Yahuwah. When Ehud was dead and Yahuwah sold them into the land of Jabin, king of Canaan. Most High sold us into slavery. Wow. You know why? Because the men had fallen away and they led the whole nation astray, and priests and all. And the Elohim sold them into the hand of Jabin, king of Canaan. Wow, the Most High sold us into the hand of the Canaanites. Reigned in Hazor, the captain of whose host was Sisera, which dealt in Harosheth of the Gentiles. And the children of Israel cried unto Yahuwah. Listen to this. For he had 900 chariots of iron in 20 years. He mightily oppressed the children of Israel. Now, why did the children of Israel have to get oppressed? Listen to the Most High. Never did. So the Most High sold them into slavery. That's what it says in Judges chapter 4, verse 2. And Deborah, prophetess of the wife of Lipidoth. Now, Deborah is the wife. She's not just some single woman just running around doing anything she want to do, talking about the Most High told me this, the Most High told me that. No, she has a husband. She has a husband. She has a head in her life. And Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lipidoth, she judged Israel at the time. And she dwelt under the palm tree of Deborah and Bethel. in Mount Ephraim, and the children of Israel came up to her for judgment. She sent and called Barak, the son of Abinadab, out of Kadesh Naphtali, and said unto him, have not Yahuwah Elohim of Israel commanded, saying, go and draw towards Mount Tabor 10,000 men of the children of Naphtali and of the children of Zebulun. And I will draw unto the river of Kishon Sisera, the captain of Jabin's army, chariot and his multitude, and I will deliver him into thine hand. Now, why is Deborah a judge in the first place? I'm going to tell you why. Because the men are weak and scary. We don't have backbone. So the Most High, yeah, he will raise up a woman. Why does he do that? For two reasons. First of all, the woman is the helpmeet. And is weak. The woman, the helpmeet, is supposed to help him stand on his feet. So, and I will draw unto thee the river Kishon, Sierra, of Jabin's army with his chariots and his multitude. And let me say this too. By the Most High going to a woman with all these men and warriors around, rebuke to the spiritual declension that took place in the men. It's really a rebuke. It's just as much a rebuke as the Most High making Balaam's donkey to talk. Why? Because it's out of order. It's out of the natural order. Why is it out of the natural order? Because the men are out of order. Are out of order. So, and she said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest. So look what Barak said. This to show you how weak the men had gotten. And Barak said unto her, if thou wilt go with me, then I will go. You hear this? A warrior man, Navy SEAL, crack commando. He said, well, I ain't gonna go unless this woman go. You know that. Now, if this is happening with a warrior, what's the other men like in the nation? And she said, and see, all of this is a rebuke to us, y'all, as men. And I would even say it's a rebuke to the women too, because the women are not encouraging the men in the role that they should have been playing, helping the men. But the bulk of the guilt lays at the man's feet. She said, I will surely go with thee, notwithstanding the journey that thou takest shall not be for thine honor. Look at this. For Yahuwah shall send unto the hand of a woman. See, this is another rebuke to Barak. This is another rebuke. Okay, since you want me to go with you, and you begging that a woman come with you to battle, to give you some encouragement, the victory is going to go to a woman. That's a slap in the face. And then on top of that, the woman wasn't even an Israelite. And Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh, and he 10,000 men at his feet up with him. Now, I want to tell you something else that this speaks to, the fact that Barak wanted Deborah to come with him. He must have didn't trust in the men that was with him. This really does speak to the fact that these men were not reliable to the Most High, to their nation, to their role, their gender role. They wasn't. So he said, you know what, we need a woman. That's a rebuke right there. Now, Barak, verse 10. Now Barak called Zebulun and Naphtali to Kadesh, and he went up with 10,000 men at his feet, up with him. Now Heber the Kenite, which was of the children of Habor. And these Kenites were the descendants of Jethro. Okay. I think the Midianite who gave advice to Moses. Okay. So these people were allies. So it says this. And Heber the Kenite, which was of the children of Hobab, the father-in-law of Moses, is another name for Jethro, had severed himself from the Kenites and pitched a tent unto the plain of Zaraim, which is by Kadesh. And they sold Sisera, that Barak, the son of Abinonam, together all the chariots, even 900 chariots of iron, and all the people that were with him from Harosheth of the Gentiles unto the river of Kishon. Said unto Barak, up, for this is the day in which Yahuwah have delivered Sisera into thy hand. Is not Yahuwah going out before thee? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor. Now listen to what she says here in verse 14. And Deborah said unto Barak, this day in which Yahuwah have delivered Sisera into thy hand, is not Yahuwah going out before thee? So Barak went down from Mount Tabor, 10,000 men after him. 10,000 men went after Barak. I get the impression that Deborah didn't go into the hard battle with him. And Yahuwah discomforted Sisera and all his chariots and all his hosts with the edge of the sword fell before Barak, so that Sisera lighted down off the chariot and fled away on his feet. Barak pursued after chariots and after the hosts unto of the Gentiles. And all the hosts of Sisera fell upon the edge of the sword, and there was no man left. Howbeit, Sisera fled away on his feet to the tent of Jael. Listen to this. He fled unto the tent of Jael. Now, some people talk about Jael like as if she was a soldier in the actual army. No, she wasn't, y'all. The Bible says she was in a tent. Okay. Howbeit Sisera fled away on his feet to the tent of Jael, the wife of Heber the Kenite, another woman with a husband. She's not working unilaterally of her husband. She has a head. Talk about Deborah being a prophetess in Israel. She had a husband. She wasn't a wild woman just doing whatever she want to, coming here and there and all this, and then talking about the Most High told me and this and all that, and then ordering men around. No, this is a woman herself who has a head. She has a husband. Same thing with Jael. Same thing with Jael. We still see this order. And Jael went out to meet Sisera and said unto him, Jael, this lady is a Kenite. She has a husband. And Jael went out to meet Sisera and said unto him, turn in to me, fear not. And when he had turned in unto her in the tent, she covered him with a mantle. And he said unto her, give me, I pray thee, a little water to drink, for I am thirsty. And she opened a bottle of milk and gave him drink and covered him. Again he said unto her, stand at the door of the tent. And it shall be, when any man doth come to inquire of thee, and say, is there any man here? That thou sayest, no. And Jael, Heber's wife, took a nail of the tent, and took a hammer in her, and went softly unto him, and smote the nail into his temple, and fastened it to the ground. For he was fast asleep, so he died. Now, is she a warrior? I will give her some warrior points. I'll give her some warrior points. Because if you don't give her no warrior points, some of these women are going to get upset, and some of these simpish men, they're going to get upset. Give her those. But she was not in the army. She wasn't in an army fighting side by side next to Barak and the 10,000 men that he had, the 1,000 men that he had with him. It's here. Then Jael, Heber's wife, took a nail of the tent and took a hammer in her hand and went softly unto him. She didn't fight. She didn't beat Sisera in hand-to-hand combat, y'all. Behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out to meet him and said unto him, come, and I will show thee the man whom thou seekest. And when he came in to her tent, behold, Sisera lay dead, and the nail was in his temple. Now, that actually was a humiliation on the part of Barak. That was a humiliation to the men of Israel. Have to kill and make the most decisive kill in the battle. The Most High is telling the men to get your act together. That's what the Most High is telling by having all these women age the men. It's supposed to bring repentance to the men. It's supposed to bring the men closer to the Most High so they can have that male divine nature. We read further in the book of Judges, and we read about even Gideon. Gideon was scared. There was a lot of fear going on with the men of Israel in the book of Judges. A lot of fear. A lot of fear going on. A lot of unmanly stuff. And so the Most High have to rebuke the man by raising up the woman. But that's not the natural order, y'all. That's not the natural order. So when you have weak men, and these domineering women, that really does speak more towards the man, how out of order he is. More so than the woman. More so. The woman being out of order is a symptom of the man being out of order. It's just symptomatic, but we want to deal with the symptoms. So look at this. And Jael, and behold, as Barak pursued Sisera, Jael came out and meet him and said unto him, Come, and I will show thee the man whom thou seekest. And when he come into the tent, behold, Sisera lay dead, and the nail was in his temple. So Yahuwah subdued on that day Jabin, the king of Canaan, before the children of Israel. You think the children of Israel, the men and the children among the children of Israel repented? You know, it had its shock factor, but I'm sure these men backslid right back into being weak men, just like we are today. Just like we are today. That's why anybody could come in our neighborhoods and do anything to our women, not budge. Now, the Most High has blessed me. I've never, and I have to say this, an ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. It really is. When you raise your children right in the fear and admonition of the Most High, it's not a whole lot of stuff that be happening to them. I don't have to worry about young men hunting my daughters down. I don't have to worry about that because I did all the groundwork. Father, and still is a strong father to my children when they were small, and a strong father today. Same thing with my son. My son don't run around with a lot of hood rats. I forbid it and I won't tolerate it. And he knows that. And guess what? It's kept all my children safe with prayer and supplication and fasting. I know where my children are at all times. And my oldest child is 22 years old. And I don't be sweating them either. They have to come in the house. I don't think my children have ever been out my house past 9 o'clock unless they went to a business meeting or something. Most of the time by 9 o'clock, everybody, all the inmates of my home, and it's not really something I have to enforce, it's just a way of life. People go to work, they go to school, they come home. It's just natural. No clubbing, no partying, no staying out late, no spending the night nowhere. No, you don't spend the night nowhere over nobody's house, but this one. That's just how it's been. And you a lot of authority. That shows manly characteristics when you got your house in order. It really does. We don't have no ups and downs. We got ups and downs just like everybody else. But you know what? It's just some things that are deal breakers. And none of my children are hostages. But anyway, I've said all that to say this, to let you know why the men are so weak. One of the things that is an indicator of how weak a man is how out of order his family is. His son is, his daughter. It's a lot of, look at Eli. Look at Eli. Look at Samuel and his sons. Fire in. Eli, his sons got the women in Israel turning tricks at the temple. And the father knows that this is going on. The covenant gets stolen under the watch of the priests. It's just bad, y'all. And the hand of the children of Israel prospered and prevailed against Jabin. the king of Canaan, until they had destroyed Jabin, king of Canaan. Then look at this. This is a very beautiful song that Deborah sang after they got away from under the Canaanites and King Jabin. Look what's this. This is in Judges chapter 5. Then sang Deborah and Barak of Abenonan on the day that sang, praise ye Yahuwah for the avenging of Israel, when the people willingly offered themselves. Hear, O ye king, give ear, O princes. Even I will sing unto Yahuwah, and will sing praises unto Yahuwah. Yahuwah, when thou wentest out of Seir, when thou marchest out of the field of Edom, the earth trembled and the heavens dropped water. The mountains melted from before Yahuwah, even that Sinai from before the Elohim Yahuwah of Israel. In the days of Shamgar, the son of Athan, in the days of Jael, the highway was occupied, and the travelers walked through byways. The inhabitants of the villages ceased. They ceased in Israel until I, Deborah, arose, and I arose a mother in Israel. They chose new gods. Then war was in the gates. I was there, a shield. Okay. They chose new Elohims. Then was war in the gates. Was there a shield or spear seen among 40,000 in Israel? My heart is towards the governors of Israel. Willingly among the people. Bless ye Yahuwah. You know, it sounds like in this that there was some unwillingness. I mean, because she makes it a point to bring out the governors were willing to, fight the battle. Well, that's because they had the same kind of attitude that Barak had. Verse 10, speak ye that ride on white asses, ye that sit in judgment and walk by the way, they that are delivered from the noise of archers in the place of drawing water. There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of Yahuwah, even the righteous acts towards the inhabitants of the villages in Israel. Then shall the people of Yahuwah go down to the gates. Awake, awake, Deborah, awake, utter a song. Listen to this, listen to this. Arise, Barak, and lead thy captivity, captive, thou son of Adonam. Listen to this. Deborah is not singing in her song, I led them. No, she said Barak is the one that led the army. You see that? Barak is the one that led the army, just like men supposed to do. Awake, okay. Then he made him that remaineth have dominion over the nobles among the people. And Yahuwah made me have dominion over the mighty. Out of Ephraim was there a root of them against Amalek. Benjamin among the people. Out of Mishar came down governors, and out of Zebulun they that handled the pen of the writer. And the princes of Issachar were with Deborah, even Issachar, and also Barak. He was sent on foot into the valley for the division of Reuben. There was a great thoughts of heart. Why abodest thou among the sheepfold to hear the bleating of flocks? For the division of Reuben, there was great searching of heart. Gilead abode beyond Jordan, and why did Dan remain in ships? Asher continued on the seashore and abode in his breeches. Zebulun and Naphtali were a people that their lives into the death in the high places of the field. The king came and fought the king of Canaan in Tarnak by the waters of Megiddo. They took no gain of money. From heaven, the stars in their courses fought against Sisera. The river of Kishon swept them away. The ancient river, the river Kishon, O my soul, that thou hast trodden down strength. Then were the horse hoofs broken by the means of the prancing of their mighty ones. Curse ye, Miraz, says the angel of Yahuwah. Curse ye bitterly, the inhabitants thereof, because they came not to the help of Yahuwah, against the mighty. Blessed above women shall Jael, the wife of Heber, the Kenite. Blessed shall she be above women in the tent. He asked water, and she gave him milk, butter to a lordly dish. She put her hand to the nail, and her right hand to the workman's hammer. And with the hammer she smote Sisera. She smote off his head when he had pierced through his temple. And her feet he bowed, he fell, and he lay down at her feet. He bowed. He fell where he bowed. There he fell down and dead. The mother of Sisera looked out at a window and cried through the lattice, why is his chariot? Why tarry the wheels of the chariot? Her wise ladies answered, yea. She turned, answered herself, have they not shared? Have they not divided the prey? To every man a damsel or two. Sisera, a prey of diverse colors of needlework, of the diverse colors of needlework on both sides, meat for the neck of them that take the spoil. So let all thine enemies perish, O Yahuwah, but let them that love him be as the sun when he goeth forth in his might, and the land had rest 40 years. So the land had rest 40 years under the judgeship of Deborah, and after Sisera and the king of the Canaanites were subdued. So I really feel bad that I wasn't able to see who's in the room, what's going on with this. But chat is disabled for this room. Why? Let me see. But anyway, I think that's going to conclude what I wanted to share. So Deborah wasn't, let's talk about what Deborah wasn't. She wasn't the head of the nation. She wasn't even the head of the army. She was the administrator in the nation of Israel as a judge and a prophetess. That's what she was. She wasn't the head of anything. We know that because she's a woman. But yes, she was a prophetess. Yes, she was a judge. but she's not the head of the nation. And I think that's one of the things that is read too often. This narrative. I want to play something for you. See, I like the way that this woman articulates what she really was. I appreciate that. I appreciate the honesty. And it's really interesting that Barack said, without you, he don't say, I can't do this without the Most High. So we know that the men had basically fallen off. They don't even trust the Most High. They trust a woman more than they trust the Most High. Isn't that exactly what Adam did? Isn't that exactly what Adam did? Now, she was being nice. She said, for whatever reason. Spit it out, sister. Be bold. You know, even if it's fear of sounding like a feminist, be bold. She was valiant because the men were weak. Let's just spit it out there, y'all. Let's just tell the truth and shame the devil. The men were weak. They didn't believe in the Most High. They were not walking in their divine nature as men. And this is what makes a man weak. To the point where he's going to say, well, if a woman is not with me, I can't do it. You know, so what about the Most High? Oh, well, yeah, whatever. So, okay, I'm trying to do something, y'all. I know this is like the end of the program and stuff, but I'm just trying to see if I can get to the chat room just to see. It's just confusing. I don't know what is happening. I don't know. On page or something. I don't know. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Let me see here. I don't know why I can't see who's in the chat room. And I royalty. Maybe I'll go back and edit this so I can take out all the stuff where I'm just searching for. I don't know. Oh, that's one thing I could do. Let me see. Let me see here. Let's see here. I'm about to close. I'm just trying to see who's in the room. And that's turning into a big to-do. Okay. Okay, I can finally see who's in the room. Okay, humble servant is here. And matter of fact, humble servant asked the question early on. Early on, he asked the question, how can you jab at men when boys are being raised by single moms? Could you explain that for me? Could you elaborate on that question a little bit more, humble servant? And I wish. Could you elaborate on that original question that you had asked before? Oh yeah, Clarence Ray. I've been on YouTube ever since, almost since YouTube started in 2008, I think. So yeah. How long have you been on YouTube? When did you start? I've been on YouTube since, yeah, I've been on YouTube since I think 2008 or 2007. Yeah, men shouldn't be scared, you know, when we are warriors. This guy was a warrior that was scared. And that's what makes it even worse, you know? Exactly. Humble servant. Deborah was married too. But anyway, I just wanted to come and share that with you all. Our nation is going to have to get back in order, y'all. Our women need to be under men, helping men. The women should be using the divine nature, the divine feminine nature to help us. That's why they were created. It says that in the New Testament and the Old Testament. For the most part, the natural order explained in 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, is not being taught. Feminism dominates society. Yeah, and you know, and I see a lot of the feminism dominating even Israel, you know, and it's kind of bad. And I see men facilitating for it. And so that disturbs me a lot, you know. But anyway, this is Prophet Rob, and I will be signing out. You all have a wonderful Sabbath. Thank you for coming and joining me. I appreciate the input. Like the video, share. If you're not a subscriber, consider it. And yeah, I'm out of here, y'all. You take it easy and shalom.